Just look at this amazing crop. My Bucephalandra farm is finally ready for the harvest, so I can start already this twin aquascape behind me. I tried out a lot of ways to propagate Bucephalandra, but this Emersed farm is by far the best method, so pay close attention. You can make one of these beauties for yourself. That's my purpose today, to show you how you can grow healthy and clean Bucephalandra like a pro. First of all, for this method we need a container, something to hold water and to keep our plants, from the basic and cheap ones to the more expensive and more professional ones. I will walk you between our options. The most basic one are these in vitro cups. After we take out our plants, we keep the cups and we can add a tiny Bucephalandra inside. Our next option, also very cheap, is this kind of food tray. With all these containers, you need to figure out a way to provide some ventilation, but to also trap the humidity inside. We can also make a farm inside of a glass aquarium, or maybe an empty ice cream box. In this case, we're gonna use a transparent foil to trap the humidity inside. You can buy some storage bins like this one, also with a clear lid in which you will drill some ventilation holes, or you can even prop the lid like so, just insert something to hold it up. But the hole drilling method is much better. Start with just a few holes and add more later if needed. Make them on opposite sides of the box to have a nice airflow inside. Don't make too many holes. You can always drill more later if needed, but if somehow you overdo it, you can always close some of the holes with a piece of duct tape. For now it's just the marking, but you get the point. Just like so, and you are left with only 2 holes. You can buy bigger and more expensive storage bins with clips for a snug fit of their lid. These are more expensive, but in time you will find they really worth their money. And my favorite method is to buy this kind of seedling trays. You probably saw me using this before to propagate carpeting plants and moss. Why these ones? Because of this transparent lid that has 2 openings with adjustable airflow control. Right now I left a tiny window. However, I can crack it open all the way up. As far as substrate goes, I prefer to use 2 types of substrate. The first one, it's not a must. I use it for drainage and to give the root something to hold on. For that purpose I use lava rock crumbs. If you don't have volcanic lava crumbs, you can use this, Plica. They are hydroponic pebbles, some kind of clay balls that are also porous. I personally use them a lot in aquascaping to elevate my substrate. These and volcanic lava crumbs are very cheap, so they are good as a filling material. They will elevate the substrate and will bring our plants closer to the light. We'll also do some economy because aquasoil is expensive. I prefer tropical aquasoil, and a cup of it should be enough for a tray like this. Just like the lava crumbs also provide surface for the beneficial bacteria, but the main role of our aquasoil is to provide the nutrients for the plants. And speaking of nutrients, here are my favorite ways to fertilize my Bucephalandra trays. I either add liquid fertilizer in the water that I use for misting the plants, or the best way in my opinion is to add some root caps. I open them up and add small osmocote with a tiny tweezer like this one right at the roots of my Bucephalandra. I usually add one osmocote for each Bucephalandra. If the plant is bigger, I maybe add a couple of them. Use a small amount of soil, just enough to cover our first layer. Now for the planting part, it's almost like in your fish tank. You want to prepare the plant, remove all the bad leaves like this one, and you want to place the roots inside the substrate, but if possible try to keep the rhizome above the substrate level to avoid the meltings. Here I have different types of Bucephalandra. They are in poor shape. Hopefully we can save them up. You see the leaves are badly damaged. So many baby plants here. I will try to separate them from the rhizome. And plant them one by one. On top of the soil, I will also use a handful of lava rocks. I'll add this one under the Buce to sustain the plant. If you have one that's already attached to a lava rock, you can just insert the lava rock in the soil and push the soil to provide some nutrients. Bucephalandra mini needle leaf. It's a good idea to spray some water if the planting is long. This looks like Bucephalandra tia. I'll split it up. Remove the moss or any algae if possible. Also remove all the leaves, especially if they are covered in algae and damaged. Planting is easy, won't bore you with that. However, let's discuss the adaptation. As you can see, most of the plants are from my fish tanks. They are submerged, so they need to adapt. It's not an easy process, and some of your plants can lose a couple of leaves here and there. But if you buy Emersed Bucephalandra from farms or shipped from Indonesia, from the wild, they will adapt easier if they are already immersed. Let's cut the excess roots. This will stimulate new root growth, so don't worry about damaging the plant. After the root caps, I usually sprinkle a handful of lava rocks on top, but my tips and tricks will be in the second part of the video. Then I will also talk about the temperature, water and my routine like misting, trimmings and mold control. You don't need many and make sure they don't squish the leaves. In time the plant will grow out of the lava rock. I will cover them with the lid and move my tray to the light. As far as light goes, you probably know these underdeck light units already. Use them for all my projects. It costs less than $3 each. I have 3 of them. One is closed for now because there are only rocks there. It doesn't have to be a full spectrum or fancy LED light. I keep it lit for 12 hours. And here is my reward. Having patience was totally worth it. Yes, the color of Emersed plant is not as nice, rather greenish and less iridescent, but they will color up nicely when I readapt them to submerged form. Now I will just perform the regular spraying routine. When they have wet leaves, they are way more appealing. I have another video with general things about Bucephalandra if you want to learn more about this plant. This experiment was actually a bumpy ride, and in a week or 2 I will post a new video with detailed evolution over these 4 months. All the problems that I've encountered, how I fixed those, the harvest method, the way to convert to aquatic form, and I will also answer to all the questions you might have about this method. Subscribe to my channel
so you won't miss out the second part. And make sure that you write me in comments if I forgot to explain something in this video. I did my best to keep it short. Here I have more materials with general things about Buce and a very popular video about my moss propagation method. Select one of those to watch next.